Hello everyone. So for today we're gonna discuss something related to some security issues relating to Zoom use. So in these videos we're gonna discuss some of the do's and don'ts to avoid some issues relating to the usage of Zoom. So for security reasons, so these are some tips coming from me that you can follow. First, when you are making a schedule of the meeting, it is solely suggested that if you can generate an automatic ID so that you will not compromise your personal ID here. Even though I have a video for that explaining how you can also change your personal ID, so you can watch the other video that I have there. So if given a chance, you have used this before, so you can still change it the way you want it. But if possible, you can just generate automatically the schedule here or the meeting ID. So this is the first step that you have to do. So when you make a schedule, so it will make a generated number on the on your homepage. So it's this way here. This is the thing that we have now. The thing that you should do once you already have the ID or meeting of the ID, which is right now it's this number here, so it is suggested that do not broadcast this one to anyone, or do not broadcast this one in a social media. So do not post this one in a social media where the public can see it. You can just copy this one. Is better yet, you just have to copy that and then as a link, or you can actually just simply go to the meeting ID and send this particular information. So both will be just the same, or this one directly if they want to go to the browser to use that particular software. So do not broadcast this one in your social media account, or I'm talking about publicly. You can still send it through maybe Messenger or through the WhatsApp. On that way, it's gonna be so private for those who will be joining the conference only. So those who are not part of the conference will not have the link on what will be your ID. Another way of doing that one, another way to add more security into it, I will just edit this particular meeting. Let me also add a password, for your meeting. So this will only be possible if you are using the personal ID. So you can also have this particular option here. So generated ID is already a password by itself because it is unique. So if you wanted to use your personal ID, you can also have this required meeting password, so that once the participants already have your ID, so they cannot still join without your consent by giving the password to them. So you can just simply put whatever random password you want to be given to the participants during or on the meeting itself, or before the meeting. You can send it to them so that whenever the meeting will start, they can join. Right, this feature, the advanced option, enable waiting room. So the purpose for this is that if there is someone who wants to join the meeting, they will be on the waiting room area where you have to confirm if they can be admitted or not. So this is also good features if you have a lot of participants and you just want to make sure that only those who are legitimate participants can join your meeting. Alright, so let's save it and then we'll see. Now, given a chance you want to start the meeting, there's another feature here to make it more secure in terms of the conference or the meeting itself. So let me just take a look at this particular thing right now. So once you already have the meeting started, so just given a chance, this is the one that we have right now. So you can just go to more and you can click the option called participants here. So now, example, you only have one or two person to join the conference and you don't want anyone else to join. So to make sure that no one can join except those who are already in the conference, you can actually click this one here and click this option called lock meeting. So what it means by that, so it says here you have locked the meeting, no one else can join. So only those participants who are already there on your conference can have can be with you for the rest of the conference. So no one else can join after that. So if given a chance, someone left the conference and they want to join back, so just don't forget to simply unlock it as well, so that the new participants can join back, or that participants who left can join back. But again, this is another features where you can add this meeting, lock meeting. Okay, second tip regarding the option here, once you're already in the meeting, so you have this option called share screen. This will enable you to share informations from your computer as well as participants can share. So this is very important if you want to share informations to your participants, and also if you want participant to share informations from their screen. So you have this advanced sharing option here where you can have an options to only you can share, which is very essential if you want that it's going to be one-way communication in terms of showing informations, or if you want all participants can share informations from their screen. Now, who can start sharing when someone else is sharing? So you can also leave it only host, so that only you can manipulate the sharing by yourselves. So if you have dual screen, you can have this option. So again, so ideally if you just want to make sure it's safe because maybe someone will just share some information on the screen which is unnecessary, which is inappropriate, so at least you have control over it. So you can do no problem, you can share from this, and only host can do this particular thing when someone else is sharing. So at least you can stop it whenever you'd like to stop the sharing from them. So, or else better yet, you can just simply make it only host can share informations. This is how it will look like if you enable the waiting room. So on your screen it will show that if someone wants to join the conference, because you already added the features of a waiting room. So now you have a right to admit it or remove the person because you don't want. So right now I will try to admit him. This is actually my account also that I just want to let join here. Now you have control over this person as a host, so give it a chance. During the share screen, you let him share screen, it's inappropriate or he's just so annoying in your conference. You have actually option here to do what do you want to this particular guy. So you can just report him, or the better yet, just remove him in the meeting. So by removing the tool here, he can no longer able to join the meeting that we have. So just click remove, and that will do. The next tip we can have is like you should familiarize the features of the program itself, because in that sense you will be able to make use properly the program that we have. So one example for that, like if you have a participant and you want to explain something and they are so noisy, so you remember that you have an options that you can just mute them all in here. And removing this option, the check option here, won't allow them to unmute themselves. It has to be with your permission if they want to talk. So this is a very good feature if you are into discussion and people participating are so noisy. So just make sure to mute them all in this particular option here. So the only way that they can communicate with you right now is with your permission, because they can raise their hand if they wanted to, or by yourself you can unmute him. So you can just simply click this person here and make an options. Where is the unmute option? I think I didn't put the connection using the internet, so that's why it's not there. Okay, it's not right now here. So you can actually click the name here and you can just simply unmute that person. So he will be prompted on his screen if he wants to unmute himself as well, just for his safety as well, because maybe he's not ready to talk, and when you unmute automatically it is unmuted, so it's not good as well. So in his screen it is a message there that would say the host wants to unmute you. So if he agreed, then if example it says right now I will unmute it, so now we can hear, I can hear myself also. So that's how it works on this particular link. You should understand also how to mute someone. The next thing is about this one here. Of course, you have this option called the video, right? So during the conference you can ask someone to start their video, and the same manner it will prompt a message there if that they can start their video. So you can actually click the person will start there. So right now this is the video in his screen on my phone. Actually, this is how it is right now. You can see my screen here moving here. This is from the mobile phone. So if given a chance you don't want to see their videos, you just want to explain something, you can just simply go click more and then just stop the video. Alright, so that's how it works, so that they cannot just share their videos if they wanted to. So you can just close their video as well on that particular thing. So that's another features that you have to understand. The next tip is about the chat area. So when you go here, you just go to the chat part here. So you can see right now that depending on the participants that you have, so if you may, you can actually click this one here and make sure that this one is disabled, so that it's going to be host only. So only you can share informations to the students, like the file right now. So on their screen, there's no options on the participant, there's no options that they can share this information or they can message anyone else. So as a host, you have a control to send to privately or to everyone, but for the participants, they have no option to message anybody else except you. Or if you just don't want them to message, just simply click no one. So only you can message, but these people who are participating can only watch you there. So as best method, actually I'd like to make it host only, which is very essential, so that they can also communicate with you by means of typing message instead of talking. So this is a great way to communicate with your audience as well. So but again, make sure that you understand the option of host only. Don't make it everyone publicly, so that, or else they will be just chatting with each other. They will have this feature also to choose who they want to chat with. So that's not a good idea. Now let's move on to the tip number 4. So another tip that I can give you is make sure that your version of the Zoom is actually the latest one. This is very important, so that if there will be some security breach on the system of Zoom before, the company, I'm pretty sure, will fix it, and you should inform us to update our system or our software. So right now, if you look at my screen, it says a new version is available to update. So make sure you have the latest one by clicking update, or if you don't have this option right now, just to check if you have the latest one, you can actually click your icon here, and you can have an option check for updates. So click this one. It says pause download will resume when your meeting ends. So this is very important. So it is just available, the new version, and I have this version here. So basically it needs to be updated. So it is very important that you're using the latest, because if there will be some issues with the previous version or the version that you have, it will be secure in this particular version that they have. I'm pretty sure this is the purpose while the version will be updated. So that's another tip, the 4th tip that I have given to you. Alright, let's have a recap on what are the 4 ways or 4 tips that I can offer for you to make sure that your meeting is secure. So first, make use of this particular link to be broadcasted only to the participants. So do not broadcast this one publicly in your social media account. So never do that one, and as much as possible, put a meeting ID into it. So just right now, if I have to go to edit, I will just show you here. So again, make sure to make use of the generated ID if you can, and also if you are using the personal ID, make use of the required meeting password. So you can go to the advanced, make sure that enable waiting room is there, make sure to mute participants upon entry, and also this is very important as well, make sure that they sign into their Zoom account. So click this one as well. So this is very, very important if you want to make sure that not just random person join without their email. So you can click that one to have the conference. So that's the tip number 1 that we have. The second tip the second tip that I've mentioned is about the screen sharing. So make sure you have to familiarize how to make sure that only these participants that you want to share can share the information. So actually you can have like this one right now, all participants can share, no problem, but once in the sharing options that they have, you have to make sure that only you can start the sharing when someone else is sharing. So because at least in this particular option, you have control over if you want to accept the sharing or not. So this is very, very important if you wanted to do this particular thing. But again, I always have this multiple participants, only then a multiple participants can share if you have a dual screen. So this is very important as well if you have several students want to share information at the same time. So this particular option is good. So but make sure it's only the host can do that one. That's a tip number 2. And also don't forget that you have this option if that person is sending inappropriate videos or sharing inappropriate material during the meeting, you can actually just remove him if you wanted to. So this option is available for you to do that one. You have all the rights as a host to do that one. So that's part of the tip number 2 that we have. The tip number 3 is you should familiarize the software itself. before using it, because so that you will not look like stupid in front of your participants. So what are those things? So first, make sure that you know that during this particular chat, you can actually disable that particular thing that is going to be host only, so that it will minimize the chance that they will be chatting with each other during the conference. So I always use the host only. That's very important. During the meeting, you should understand that you can also mute the person, or you can mute them all if you wanted to, and also you can untick this one. The best way is to untick this one so that no one can unmute themselves during the meeting. And also you can disable the video for the students, or for this particular person you don't want to see their video, so you can also make it here. So right now it's not shared, so I can ask, or I can make it also disabled if I wanted to. So as a host, you should have, or you should familiarize this particular thing. Now during the sharing, let me just share with you this particular information here, because it's very important as well. So we have this. Alright, this is now during the screen sharing using the whiteboard. So there's an option here that you have to familiarize, so that you will not be in trouble while you are trying to discuss here. Because right now, if I write something here, the students also, or the participants also, can write in here if it's active actually. So how to deactivate or activate the annotation so that they cannot write here while you're doing something. So actually, when you click this particular option here, there's an option about this one more. So did you see this one here? Disable participant annotation, or you can show the names of the annotators. So actually, if you want, example, you have an option for activity that you're doing, and you want them to write the answer, you can participant screen. Actually, he can also write something there. So when I write on my phone right now, see, look, so I'm writing, so see, the name of the participants who wrote will be shown here. So that's very important, or that's very good also if you wanted to know to use this feature. So but again, if you don't want anyone to just able to write in your whiteboard, so you can actually click this option and then disable the participants annotation. This is very crucial, or very important, that you should understand as well. That's tip number 3. Now let's go to the tip number 4. As we mentioned, do not forget that you should have the updated version of your Zoom. So to do that one, I will just stop sharing here. So you have to click this particular your icon here, and make sure to go to the check for update. This is very important, that you should have the latest version. So I hope you have learned something. If there are some things that it's not clear with you, so please feel free to message me in the comment section, and I'm glad to help. And I'm also learning, as I've mentioned, so please do hit like and subscribe if you have learned something from this video.